Well, hello, Mark.
Hello,
Here we are,
Drew.
episode 5.
Wow.
God, we're running through them. How was your week, Mark?
It's not been too bad. The start of the summer bank holiday. Had some quiet time. Had some time at the beach with the fam. At Ali. I don't say fam. I apologise. I don't know why I decided to say fam.
The nerves. It's kicking
yeah,
in.
it is.
We're
Yes,
getting
I'm
recorded
very
now.
shy right now. So yeah, nice weekend. I've got the rest of the week off now. I won't be back to work till next Monday, which is lovely.
That's good, yeah.
Bit
a
of a
lot of
break
people off
from
on
it.
work, actually.
Yeah.
It's basically like 4
It's a
people.
ghost
in the
ship at the moment.
It really is.
What about yourself? You had a good weekend?
It's a good weekend. To be honest, I had a roller coaster of a weekend. Lots happened. So, as you know, it's the 4 I didn't see you on Friday either. So it's kind of been a 4-day weekend.
4-day weekend,
Really.
yeah.
So I kind of want to talk about what I did. I saw, as you know, I went
Yes.
to see Good Kid in London. Now, let me tell you, that was a fantastic experience.
Okay.
Firstly,
Oh,
it was themed.
fingers come
it
up.
was themed.
And it's gone down on the
Yeah,
table.
no,
I'm going to
I'm
narrate
gonna-
this for the viewer.
I'm going to be hitting the table if I'm not careful. It was themed. So one of their songs is Premier Inn. So you had to dress up as an employee of Premier Inn.
Wow.
So there I was with...
How are you stealing that uniform? Were you
I didn't steal- we
breaking
just
an
got-
entry?
Someone did wear a full uniform. I
really,
saw someone with a
they're-
full
yeah,
Premier Inn
They're
uniform.
probably an employee of Premier Inn. Yeah.
Or they went on eBay.
Who's
so-
selling the old
Probably,
uniform?
you know what people probably are.
Okay.
You know, they'll sell anything. Collector's item. This is
Okay.
the 1996 uniform.
Oh, that was when it had a slight tartan to it. Yeah, I remember that one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. They say it went downhill from there.
So what did you dress as then?
So,
What did you-
I just dressed as a purple t-shirt. Me and Jess got purple t-shirts
Yeah,
last minute
okay.
because we'd ordered some online. They didn't arrive in time, so I went to M&S and got 2. Luckily, they had some in triple XL, so they were a little big, but we're fine. And then I went.
Did you wear that together? Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
confused.
No, no.
Triple XL, you both in that? You
No,
and
we
Jess?
both separate ones. They were very baggy. And then Connor, who we also went with, shout out Connor, I know he listens to this podcast. He has lots of purple anyway, it's his favourite colour. So he just grabbed a purple long sleeve shirt out of his closet. I was like, cool. He actually had 2. He wore one for the journey out there, and we got changed, and he just put on a different purple long
Oh,
sleeve
wow,
shirt.
really going for it. Yeah.
I think it's just flexing, to be honest.
Yeah. I can do this. You can't.
Yeah, it really was kind of that vibe. Anyway, so we get there, long queue, we get in. It's the capacity says 800 people for this venue.
Yeah.
It felt like 300 max. It was very crowded. It was really good. So it was O2 Academy in I can't remember now. Centre of London somewhere. It's not the O2 Arena. It's O2
Brixton?
Academy. No, not Brixton. It's the other one, Lewisham. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so it's a very small gig. It was the last headline show of their tour. Because they had to say headline show because they also did Reading Festival the next day. But that's
Yeah.
it. Their tour's like over.
They're done.
Basically. So that was really exciting to be like on their last gigs. So a few things. The crowd, they were all Zoomers. A lot of them.
Excellent.
And some Gen Alphas in there. I felt old.
You felt old.
I
Wow,
felt
wow,
old.
wow.
I know.
I would have felt like their grandfather. That's great.
So what got me? So before anything actually happened, this is the thing. It's a new trend. I've not seen this at gigs. There was a lady who held up her phone, and she had Tinder on it, and she would present it to the audience behind her, and we'd all shout left or right depending on how we thought of the match on her phone, and she would strike left or right depending on what the crowd was shouting at her. And then, whenever she got a match, we would all cheer massively.
So this is just a random person.
Just a random person. People were doing this with other things. They'd have their phone up, and there's one person who had 2 photos. They had a red bin and a green bin.
Right.
And whenever they showed the red bin, we would boo, because it said bad bin. And then when they showed the green bin, which said good bin, we'd all cheer. And for some
Okay.
reason, there was another one as well, where they showed the pride flag
Yeah.
and the French flag. So we all cheered the pride flag and booed the French flag. I don't know.
What
I don't know why.
racism towards the French? That's okay.
I suppose it is.
I was thinking you might go when it was the pride flag, you might have gone ooh, and if it was the French flag, you would go ooh la la. To be very
it was not that
stereotypical.
advanced.
No,
I agree.
the question
You
I've
can't
got,
get-
the question I've got with this, Drew, right?
Yeah.
It's mobile phones. Even the biggest ones aren't big enough for the entire of a crowd.
It was a very small crowd. I'm not saying it was like 300
Yeah,
people.
but no one's making serious judgment on these Tinder profiles, are they?
I think people were. A few people close were making some very serious
maybe
judgments.
the people close, but the people 2 rows back, they're not seeing anything.
I was shouting
There's a
right
pink
the whole
blob
time.
at that point.
Just shouting right the whole time. Right. every time they
I'm
got a
assuming-
match, ecstatic
and the band
energy.
are happy to just stand there while
They
this
haven't
is going
started.
on.
They haven't done this
Okay,
yet. This
okay.
is before anyone's turned up. We've not even got to the band yet. Anyway, so fantastic. The
It says a lot about the kind of people going.
does say a lot about the kind of people.
They're
They were-
jolly. They're wanting a bit of
A
fun.
lot of energy, and actually
Yeah.
that's one of my points. It was a super high energy event. They came on. They had an inflatable, one of their mascots, inflated, and they started playing, and it was crazy.
Does that get thrown out into the crowd?
No, it's
No.
huge. It was too big for that kind of stuff. I think it was one of those, they have to constantly be pumped up kind of ones.
Yeah.
So they had like
Okay,
a
so
motor
air's going the whole time.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's really good. So they played all of their songs, and what I realised
That's
is
because
I
they
know
don't have many of them.
that's because they don't have many of them, but I realised I know all of their songs. I'd say I know 90% of their lyrics.
Is that because they all sound the same?
It's because they all sound the same, baby. No, I just realised they were towards the end, people were shouting all their songs, all their songs. I was like, what does that mean? And they were like, okay, fine. There's only 2 others we haven't played. And I was like, oh, they literally mean all the songs. But I sang along to all of them, and I think that was I think that's quite a rare occasion. Because I feel very lucky that there's a band I like so much that I can stand there and listen to their whole discography and be like, this is hell yeah.
Yeah, the last
whole
thing you want to
time.
be doing is it's a song that you're like, yeah, it's not one of my favourites. I'll keep listening. I'll nod along.
Yeah. None of that the whole time. There's a few mosh pits. I got into the mosh pits.
Okay.
They
How
were
did
great.
everybody feel about that?
I know what you mean. I know what you're going to say. A lot of people, I think mosh pits very organically separate out the people who don't want to be in them.
Yeah.
very
It's
quickly.
a natural thing. But then when someone, built like you comes along,
I know,
you get
I
a
know-
bit intimidated.
I know that I'm big. And actually, I'll tell you a story. So there was a guy in front of me. He was 6'3", and he's probably about, I'd say anything between 16 and 19.
Right.
And he was just to my left in front of me. And throughout the gig, for the first couple of songs, he slowly shifted directly in front of me.
Oh, God.
And so I tapped him on the shoulder, and I was like, excuse me, could you just move? You're drifting a little bit in front of me. Could you just... I was trying to be very polite, because I know I can feel very intimidating. I realise I'm not intimidated, but I know I can have a very solemn face if I'm not thinking about it. And I'm quite a big guy. I'm broad. I know that.
Yeah.
So
You're hench, I would say.
that's very kind.
And listeners, right, there was this one time when I didn't really know Drew that well that we happened to bump into each other on the beach, and he got his shirt off and he went in that water. I was intimidated.
Yeah,
okay,
very kind.
beautiful man. Thank you.
Very good. But yeah, so I'm very conscious, especially in the mosh pit. I'm very conscious that I'm a big guy, and if I see a young girl who's in the mosh pit enjoying themselves, I know that I can't just full bore into that person.
You can't elbow in on her.
I'm just very conscious. I could just hit someone and go. But so this kid,
You're a considerate mosher.
yeah. But anyway, so that's cool. And then so he moves, and then everyone's having a dance, kind of dancing on the spot kind of thing, doing a bit of jumping up and down. And there's a bit where the band asks the room to split. So I'm like, okay, I'm going over this way. And before I know it, this lady, the boy's mother, who's in front of him, grabs me and is like, stop pushing around my son. And I was like, firstly, we're all moving. We're all moving to the left here, madam. And
Did you say madam?
no,
Please
I didn't say anything.
okay.
I looked at her like, what are you on about? And then clearly one of her friends said, we're all moving. We're all moving here. This is not just this guy bumping into your kid. We're all moving to the left. And then she very sheepishly went, oh, okay, yeah, sure.
I understand the rules now.
Yeah.
I'm far too old to be here.
It was very much like, but she was super protective of this 6'3". He was a little scrawny, but adult, essentially an adult. And I was just like, okay, you're also at a concert,
What
a
if
very
his
crowded
mum's
concert.
there? It could be 16. I mean,
It could
be younger.
But also you're coming to a gig, and you're standing dead centre middle. We were pretty much dead centre middle.
I mean, I got into the gigs I did go to were probably from my 16s onwards, and I never went with any of my parents. The idea of me going to something with my mum and dad.
My only assumption is maybe they're anxious, maybe they're nervous. It is London at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice place in London, but
I
I
suppose if they're not, if the band aren't playing outside of London area,
and also maybe they weren't local. I don't know.
That's what I was
There's a
thinking.
lot of
Yeah,
excuses, but
they've come from outside of London because this is from outside of London because London's the only place they're playing.
And
whatever.
No, absolutely.
There's
But
probably
I
some
felt
guy
like-
from Leamington Spa or something.
It could have been, but I don't know. It just felt very she targeted me because I was a big person. I understand she's being protective of her son, but I was like, She
But
could have
she-
read the room for a minute
she's
and
the same
realised we're all
woman
moving.
that would come up to you in a supermarket and ask you to grab the beans off the top shelf.
No, I don't think they would. I think they would probably report me to security because I look intimidating. Just look intimidating.
You look like you're
But I'm not here to judge. It was just
salmon fillets down your top.
maybe. But it was something that happened. I noticed it. It was kind of weird, but whatever. Yes, I did mosh ping. So yeah, I knew all the songs, sing them all. It was really good. I lost Jess at one point because I was like jumping into mosh pits basically.
And
so
she wasn't following you after.
No, she was not following us. Connor and Jess were not following after me. They were at the back enjoying. They were right under an aircon and they were having a blast. Under that
They were
aircon.
enjoying the cooling
Yeah.
rather than getting sweaty with everybody else.
One other thing.
One more thing.
One thing.
okay.
Well, one thing about the gig. They opened some Pokemon packs. Someone threw up some packs on stage, 151s, and they opened those bad boys. Hell yeah.
Did they stop the music? Well, was there some instrumental
It's
music?
in between. Yeah, the guy
Yeah.
was like, the drum was like, doing that whole thing. Got a good card, got a full art Erica's invitation from 151. Very good card. The guy didn't understand how it was a good card. But like, he
So-
collects Pokemon cards, but he didn't know that was a good card. So I was like, alright.
Okay, you're a faker.
It felt a little bit like that. But it was really good. Really high energy. I had a fantastic time. It was really good to be in a community because, like everyone holding up their phones, doing stupid things. It felt like everyone was in the group. Everyone knew all the lyrics. Everyone knew all the lyrics. And at the end, they said this is probably the last time we can do a gig of this size because I think they're getting bigger now. I looked at their Paris gig, and it was like 3 times the size, and they were like fully booked or whatever. So like this really small venue, I think is the last time
This is the last small gig.
So I felt really appreciative to have been there and been like.
So even when they come back to the UK,
I think it'll be bigger.
they'll
I just think it'll be
yeah.
bigger. And they said they're going to be away for a while, which is totally
Yeah.
understandable. Like this
They've
same
got to build
tour,
up,
I saw them in Bristol last year. So they've toured UK,
And the same songs.
same songs.
They could have some time to write some new lyrics.
They did do one new song. It was
Okay.
very sweet.
Oh,
And it was
that's
a very sweet song. They had lots of family members there as well at the gig. Oh, it was really good. So I was very happy with that. Some other stuff that's happened with me. I watched Alien Earth.
Okay.
The first 3 episodes. This is something you can actually relate to, perhaps.
Yeah, don't go too far. I haven't watched much more than.
I think
I'm
I've only seen 3 episodes.
I'm only on the beginning of episode 2.
Okay.
So
I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I will say. We've talked about how I don't like aliens because I think the xenomorphs aren't great personally.
But we've never gone into detail. So perhaps.
Okay.
You know
I don't
what
like,
is.
my problem with Alien is that the xenomorphs aren't. Once you've seen, like with all horror films, once you've seen them, they're not that scary.
Yeah.
And I never found them particularly scary, or like I didn't find them like, oh, that's terrifying at any point. So like it's always kind of flopped. But about Alien Earth is more about the corporations.
Yeah.
It's more about the corporations fighting for all the new discovered things from the deep space ships or whatever, and like how they're all just horrible people. And I'm really there for that.
Yeah, it's great world building, isn't it?
It's really good world building,
fit-
and it's
yeah.
doing more than just like because normally what it is the aliens, and then there's some backstory about why they're going off to this faraway place, and this company's, it's for the company or whatever.
Yeah.
But now we're seeing who
What
the
those
companies
are.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think that's
No,
that's
it's really good.
fantastic.
But at the same time, there isn't a new way of, there's an unusual way that the horror elements are shown. It's there, it's present still, but it's slightly less, obvious.
I think they're less ramping up on like, oh, here comes a xenomorph.
Yeah.
It's less about that.
Yeah.
It's more about like, oh, he's there right now and killing everything, and like, it's more like shock factor. It's like it's right there, it did it, and it's off, and
if
like that's way better.
If anything, I think there's a whole series could be built around just the idea of these hybrids, just the idea that there's children that are being put into new bodies because the children themselves have got terminal illnesses, and just seeing the effect that would have just in the normal society going forward. Suddenly, these children that have brains of children that are suddenly given adult bodies that are
Super soldier bodies, really.
yeah, super soldier bodies that can do all kinds of things. They're impervious to most dangers, but at the same time, they haven't got the normal growth patterns. They're having to play with how they're going to develop their mental
it's learning and
capacities
stuff,
and
yeah.
learning to mature. I think that's fascinating.
No, it's really interesting.
Are they going to develop the same kind of moral compass as organic humans? It's great. It's great on that front, but yeah,
It's also super dystopian. The more I think about like how they're like, they're kids and they're like treating them like adults or like soldiers even. And they are still just kids, but they're like, oh, they're kind of indestructible. So who cares?
yeah, it doesn't matter what's going to happen.
They're
To
also
them,
not-
nothing.
They kind of act like
Yeah,
they're not
yeah.
really.
It's that strangeness of having this child that says, "Well, my brother's in that ship. Can I go?" Oh yeah, fine. Let's go. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, it's a
You
little
know,
bit like,
it's
let's
a bit-
see. Oh, we've got some motivation on this one, yeah.
Whereas you wouldn't do that with an actual child.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's very dystopian. Some other things I've seen a lot. Just
Well,
this
you've
weekend
been a busy
alone,
boy.
I have been a busy boy. Another thing that came up. So Jess started watching, and I was very much dragged into this. She started watching something called Bon Appetit, Your Majesty.
No, not come across that.
Okay,
What's that?
this
then?
is a Korean
Right.
rom-com.
Okay.
I will read you the blurb. After time traveling to the Jason era, a talented chef meets a tyrant king. Her modern dishes captivate his palate, but royal challenges await her.
Wow.
Wow,
Wow,
indeed.
wow, wow, wow. This is Korean rom-com.
It's a Korean
So
rom-com.
it
It
is-
is the most distilled Korean rom-com essence I've ever seen. And you know what? At first I was like, what is this nonsense? 2 episodes in,
You're hooked,
I'm
are
here
you?
for it. I'm here for it. They end in the most ridiculous way. You need to just watch it just so you can watch the end bit. Because
I'm curious.
so funny.
I am curious. I'm going to make a note of that for myself. What was it again?
It's called Bon Appetit, Your Majesty. It is ridiculous. I'll tell you what's ridiculous.
Does it make you think of Hallmark style?
It does.
It's
Some of the
Korean
music
Hallmark.
absolutely feels like Hallmark. I said to Jess, this sounds like a Hallmark show. Anyway, so she doesn't for the longest time believe she's time travelled, contrary to all the evidence around her.
So it's slammed into her, and she's still denying it. Like
The
it's some sort
whole
of trick,
time.
or does she believe
She
it's...
thinks it's like a TV show. Even though everyone's like, no, she's like, oh, you're playing the bit really well. I'm like, people are shooting arrows at you. What do you mean they're playing the bit really well? Like, if someone's... It's ridiculous.
It's like that... what's that film? Robert Downey Jr. It's set in Vietnam.
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. There's a point where they believe it's all just... It's just a film still. They still think
think it's the film. Yeah.
And it goes on a little bit too long.
One other thing I'd say about this film is, this TV show is like they really skirt around all the dark stuff. Like, if it was like more of a dark show, you could see how it could become incredibly dark incredibly quickly. But they keep it lighthearted. So like things like where someone would be beheaded, they're like, oh no, they got away, or like, oh, something silly happened instead. But like it could have gone very dark.
Yeah. No, it's one thing that I'd love to see a proper time travel film where somebody goes back into time to a time period that they think it's going to be, what
I
they
think that's
picture
Highlander, but I think Highlander is very
Highlander's-
dark.
It's dark, but it's still
I haven't
still
seen
fantasy.
it, but I've heard it's quite dark.
It doesn't have. It's not time travel. It's immortality. So you've got these people that have lived through.
It's not Highlander. That's not the one I'm thinking.
What
of.
are you thinking of then? This is interesting.
Oh no, I've forgotten now.
Who's in it? Do you remember? Anybody?
No, but she goes back in time. I think she's like a writer, and she goes back in time in Scotland or something.
Outlander.
Outlander. Outlander.
No, I've not seen that. Yeah, I think
that is very
takes
dark.
a bit. Yeah, it's darker tone.
Yes.
The only other film I can think of, or it's Michael Crichton book called Timeline, which they go back in time, and it takes a more realistic thing. The idea that perhaps you'll come across the plague and die of the plague when you go back there. And
you shouldn't though, because you're one of the survivors. If you've not to get technical, but if you're alive, it means your ancestors survived the plague.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
They isolated themselves.
But again, you'll be
a new different
exposed
virus.
to something that's died out.
Yeah.
I
understand what you mean. But they might go inverse. You might kill them because you've got something they've never seen.
But I don't think the film did it justice. I mean, it had Paul Walker as one of the leads. Fast and Furious guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I want to go through a few more things. I'm going to keep you because they're only doing one episode a week.
Yeah.
So I've only seen 2 episodes.
And that's Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really trashy TV, but trashy in a good way. It feels.
I'm going to have to have a peek at that.
It's absolutely rom-com Korean to a T. It's fantastic. Okay. 2 other things. AGR. So AGR's a band.
Okay.
Was
that the one you got into before Good?
Yes.
I remember now. Yes.
They released a teaser for their new album, but they released a teaser they're really good at mashups of their songs. And they released like kind of a mashup of one of the songs called The Big Goodbye.
Yeah.
Which I think, I'm speculating that because they're all brothers, I think their father died last year.
Okay.
I think it's meant to be The Big Goodbye. It's like we think that's what it is. But they released a teaser for it. It's a banging song. But also, me and Jess we're looking at wedding stuff. I've been having a lot of thoughts about the wedding. And also, it's kind of been almost like the soundtrack to the ideas of the wedding. You know, when you can you almost kind of make your own music video in your head. Right?
Yes.
So I was making a music video really about our wedding to this song. And it was making me very emotional, and that was very sweet, taking my dog for a walk and having these like emotional kind of moments with myself. It was very overwhelming almost, to be honest. It was very sweet.
Very sweet.
And then lastly, Jess also made me watch, I've seen it many times, but I've forgotten what an absolute banger it is. Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 BBC.
Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley. I'm
Um,
quite pretty.
yes.
I'm quite pretty.
That's a whole episode to talk about her teeth. But anyway,
I think
ironically
it's a
enough,
squint. It's a squint. She squints her eyes.
that we were actually at a filming location of that film.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Were you at the gazebo thing, or whatever it was?
The stone. Yeah.
Yes.
Stourhead.
Stourhead,
yes. So we
yes.
were there at the weekend.
Jess always
with my
points.
family.
She played when she was in the band at her school. She played in that
Oh,
stone
wow.
thing. I forgot what it's called.
It's not the Temple of Apollo. That's the one, at the other end of the lake. But yeah,
The film.
The film was part of the film was filmed there.
Yes.
I mean, that's great.
It's a really good
yeah.
film. I think it really hits some of the essences of British isms,
Mm-hmm.
which is really sly, underhand remarks that seem really pleasant on the surface, but actually they're really scathing once you like think about what they're saying.
It's Jane Austen adaptations, and then you've got Downton Abbey. They all have that kind of subtle.
They've got to
humour-
talk nicely,
yeah.
but they
They're being
have these
cutting. Yeah,
cutting underneath, and it's really good. I think it's a really good film. It's a super happy feeling film, and I was trying to figure out what about it. I struggled to pin down, but it feels like it's of an era, right? That kind of film. I think but the best way I can describe it is, I think if it was made today, it would feel more gritty and less feel good at the end. Does that make sense?
I mean, if they were to be honest to the original novel, they can't not have the happy ending. You can't.
So I mean, I think these day and age, maybe I'm being quite like narcissistic or like pessimistic, but I think they'd be like, oh, we've got to put a twist on this. We can't just tell it truthfully. We've got to.
We've had a twist one. Have you ever come across Pride and Prejudice and Zombies?
I have heard of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They made a film of it. I never watched it because it looked a bit.
Do you want an even different alternative?
Okay.
So there's on YouTube. There's something called the Lizzie Bennett Diaries,
Okay.
and it was produced very early on by John and Hank Green. Do you know who those are?
No.
They're very famous internet people, but they do more than just internet stuff. They're really positive human beings.
Yeah.
They've actually, you know, Crash Course maybe on YouTube.
No, not come across
Oh my
that.
gosh, there's a lot of stuff. We'll go into Hank and John Green one day. They're phenomenal brothers. They've done a lot for the internet, but they produced a kind of almost like a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, but in a vlog.
Yeah.
So it's Lizzie Bennett sitting down at her computer doing a vlog of each. And it's really good. That's the first time I'd actually seen Pride and Prejudice without even knowing it.
Really?
And it was a really good adaptation.
Have you seen the 1995 Hugh Grant Colin Firth
Colin
starring
Firth,
one?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. Nearly, you're going Bridget Jones a bit
Yeah,
there.
getting Bridget Jones.
Apparently Bridget Jones is also a Pride and
Yes,
Prejudice.
it is
actually, when you think about it. Yeah. There's a lot of Pride and Prejudice adaptations. It's quite
There's
interesting.
a great film called Bride and Prejudice, which is a Bollywood
Okay.
version, which is really good as well. Again, the same story threads.
It's
go
just a
through.
really good
There's
story type, isn't it?
There's always a Mark Darcy.
It's a really good storyline.
Yes.
It's a timeless.
It is. Yeah.
And actually,
absolutely.
we went to the Jane Austen Museum when we were in Bath. Saying she was in Bath.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was good to hear about her life.
Yeah.
And it all feels very much, everything she's written feels of that kind of era.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear about her life.
And it's great to go to Bath because you get that feeling of what the Georgian
Bath
times would have
still
been
feels
like.
very
Yeah.
Georgian. Absolutely. So that's kind of everything.
Wow,
That's my
you've had a great
I have
weekend,
been
haven't you?
I'll also go through your homework as well.
Okay.
Whilst we're here, just rattling everything
Oh
off.
yes.
So your homework for me was a YouTube video called "Physical Media Isn't Dying. You Have Been Lied to by What Culture" on
Yes.
YouTube. Now I'm going to say that title a little clickbaity.
It's very
It's very
clickbaity.
clickbaity. I think having watched the video,
Yeah.
and I think it was a good video, but in my mind it really lacked a compelling feeling to it. It felt like he was just telling me facts almost. I don't know, compared to probably what I sent you,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like there's a lot of soul or character to his video. And I know it wasn't really meant to be about soul or character, but I like a video that tells a narrative or a point in a very compelling way.
Yes.
And I agreed with all his points, but I was like, yeah, but I wasn't like, yeah, I totally
I
am with
think
you on
there
how
was
he's
a lot
saying
there
that.
to start. That's why I chose it. It wasn't so much because of the content itself, but just the jumping point for conversation.
Okay.
I mean, I think if anything, he's just having a love affair of the media he's been picking up in all these, all these 4K DVDs that he's been getting.
He went to Arrowhead Films, I think it was. It was one of the ones he recommended. I looked at that, and he's clearly in love with an era of films. And I think I imagine, looking at what era of films it was, you probably struggle to find good remakes of those films, which are very, very old films. So, but like, if you want something like, I was thinking at like, if I wanted a premium edition of like Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, which is a phenomenal film, they don't have one. They're not
because it's
CEX
going to go.
is your friend.
It's going to be but you're not even going to find it from CEX.
You are. I looked it up.
Really?
You can find limited edition tins and ultra 4K tins and stuff.
Oh wow. Okay.
On there.
But that's where the balance has got to be, though. I think you have places like CEX, which will give you the stuff that's been out previously and is just
it's a bit more commonplace.
Commonplace, and then you've got these things that are missing from the streaming services. You can go right now and go and watch Spider-Verse. I can't remember which one's it's on.
It's on a platform somewhere.
My son's been watching it at the moment. He's watched it several times because he knows it's leaving whichever streaming service it's on. But it's that idea that he's talking about the kind of content that you don't find on Netflix, the kind of things that are classics, that are worthy of watching.
The niche stuff that extremists don't care about. And actually, there's another point I want to make.
Yeah.
Is that, no, I agree. I really do agree with all those points. But Connor, again, shouts Connor. Connor's getting a lot of shouts today. He was telling me a story about how, and this is kind of my problem with streaming services, and if you digitally buy things, buying isn't owning anymore.
Yeah.
So he was talking about how someone bought a copy of a film on Amazon, but then Amazon lost the license to sell it, and so he no longer had that film. That's
the kind of thing that terrifies me.
No,
I know it's this first world problems kind of thing.
Well, it's not first world problems. You bought something. That's not even first world problems. You bought something and you no longer own it.
Yeah.
But also he was saying that then they regained the license, but his purchase didn't count anymore.
Wow, that's even worse.
So you had to buy it again.
Yeah. I haven't had that particular problem.
But I think that's a very niche problem. Yeah. But it's
they can
essentially steal it back, which is
not
cool.
That's not cool. And then what version are you getting that next time? Even if they did give you the next version, one of the things that depresses me about Disney Plus, that they've got all the Alien films, but you can't get the special edition versions. You can't get these special versions.
You can't get the behind the scenes versions.
Yeah, you can't. And where do you watch the making of DVDs that?
Disney are doing a bit more of that.
Yeah,
it's not. They're not taking the stuff
it's
from the original.
It's more marketing stuff than actual content.
I agree.
It's very.
It's all very curated.
Yeah.
It's not like the guy with the flip phone taking the video of them. It's like a production and companies come in to video this production company.
Some of the best stuff to watch is stuff that's just happened. Somebody brought a camera in that day, and it's probably been taken by a non-professional that's come to visit set, and you get glimpses of what's being built.
Authentic.
Authentic.
It feels like the more one stuff. It feels like they're still acting. They're like acting themselves, not acting. They're not acting the character. They are acting themselves.
Especially a lot of that kind of Marvel stuff that's making of.
Yeah.
It's talking heads. Somebody's being, the actors are being paid to upsell the film.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to promote the film. It's not from a place of, we've made this thing. It's brilliant. It's just watch my film.
Yeah.
Because I'm being paid to sell it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just become part of that.
But that. I mean, for me, it's I have this fear of losing all of this content. That's why when you have a physical copy, they can't take it away from me.
Yes,
I went through a phase. I had a large video collection, and I foolishly let all of that go to start upgrading to DVD without necessarily getting a lot of the stuff that I had originally. And some of that stuff isn't available. I can't find it on streaming service, and it's really depressing that I had a copy of something, and because of the move up to the next generation, I gave that history away from myself.
At the time, it doesn't feel like a big deal. But very quickly, I think that's why I like collecting, is what can feel like not a big deal in the moment, actually, in like 10 years' time, it's a huge deal.
And you've lost, without out of your control, you've lost something, that you thought, I thought when I was getting rid of my DVDs, my VHS, that when I got the DVDs, I would just build up the same collection again. I didn't think that, why wouldn't somebody release that film again? Why wouldn't that be available? they have released it. Oh, but it's heavily edited. It's
not the same film.
It's not the same
No, absolutely.
version. A film, it's only a kind of from a film history kind of point of view. But there's, for example, the film The Abyss, James Cameron film, 1980 something, late 80s. There's a whole scene in it where they're experimenting with this liquid that you can breathe, and it's a real thing.
Oh, I've heard of this. Yeah.
And there was a whole scene where the rat was actually put in the cage into this liquid, and you see it struggling to begin with until it gets to the point where it can take this liquid into its lungs. And it's a fascinating idea that was real, that they managed to get this real liquid and show it. But of course, probably for a good reason, animal activists complained about that particular scene, so it was heavily edited in later versions. So VHS copy I had it intact as a full scene. Later DVD versions I got didn't have that scene, and it's a minor, but it's happening.
It's just an example of
with,
editing out in cancel and just making it so that. And I know what you mean. I'm not always for it because there's some things that probably should be edited.
But how do you feel that when it comes to more serious things, like when there's inappropriate racial stereotyping in a film, or Disney for a while, and I don't know,
there was a lot of racial stuff in Disney. I know that.
Yeah, and they preempted that by having a statement at the beginning of any film that you watch like that, like Swiss Family Robinson. It's a children's film, but it has a load of white guys pretending to be Chinese pirates.
Yeah.
So they're all done up to look Chinese, but they're obviously
offensive.
not.
Yeah,
it's very offensive. But what they did is they had a message at the beginning just stating the historical facts, of where the time and place of that film was.
Yeah, I think we always think it's nuanced, and you have to go on a case by case basis. You can't have blanket statement.
Yeah,
let's edit all of these out, or let's not edit them. I think you've got to look at the context and what actually matters about it. But I think I agree with you in the long run that you should be able to still get the unedited, and you should be able to maybe get an edited version as well if you want. Maybe if you're showing kids something, maybe it's not time to have that conversation
or have that conversation just
yet.
But it's the fact that as a grown adult, you should be able to be told the context of a film and be able to watch it under those circumstances.
Yes, no, you should understand what's going on. I agree, and it's also a time capsule, right? You can understand a time, even you can't agree with the time, but you can understand how the feeling was.
Well, I know this is probably going off topic a little bit, but
it's never.
But it's also an interesting thing to watch as cinema. The cinema I watched a lot of the time when I was in my mid-teens, I would watch 18 rated films. I would watch 15 rated films when I wasn't those ages, because there was a what's the word for it? Kind of naughtiness. I was watching something I shouldn't be watching, and it's grown up, it's adult or whatever. And a lot of those films on re-release recently, I've noticed that their ratings are going down.
Oh, really?
So, for example, Terminator was originally an 18 certificated film in the UK, and I managed to see a version of it in the cinema probably in the last couple of years, and it was 15 rated. It was the same exact film.
Okay.
There was nothing that I felt like was edited out of it. And I wonder why that was. Its sensibilities changed as we've got
maybe
further
criteria
down the line.
changing. I think a lot of perhaps I'm speculating here heavily, but maybe earlier on scariness was really considered in the ratings. I remember I talked to loads of not older people, but I talked to people older than me, I'd say, and they talk about the original Daleks and being like petrified of seeing a Dalek, and I'm like, what are you on about? Daleks aren't that scary, but like I guess of an era, they did seem scary.
They did seem scary, and I remember as a child, not Daleks specifically, but there was an episode where there were some androids that were coming after the Doctor and his companions, and they would hold up their hand, and a blast of light would come out their hand, and people would just be disintegrated. And I remember hiding behind the sofa when that came on, and I've seen it since. That it's just a flash of light, and then somebody just falls on the floor. There's nothing to it, but as a child, a 9-year-old or 8-year-old or whatever, it was terrifying.
No, I get that. No, it is interesting. Well, we have gone off topic, but yes, no, it is interesting. No, it is interesting how things have changed. But yes, so circling back for my homework,
Yes.
I agree with everything he said.
Yeah.
I just didn't find how he gave it very compelling.
Yeah.
I looked at his other videos. He does a lot of like top tens on
Yeah.
certain movie things.
There's a lot more generic
It feels
YouTube
like-
videos like that,
like
but this
Mojo
one felt
Watch or
like at least an you know, it was a longer one as well.
He did
for
talk about his
nearly
father,
half an hour.
and, father and how it's a connection with his
Yeah.
father. But I just didn't feel like how he portrayed it. I'm more like criticizing the video than the content.
Yeah.
But I agree genuinely with what he said. He was just maybe talking about an era that I didn't care about.
Yeah.
He was talking about really old stuff and how you can get the really old stuff in a very premium way, very cult classic-y stuff in a premium way. And it was good, but not
not
compelling
something
for me,
we'd go
even
back
though
to.
I agree to. Anyway, how was your week? What did you get up
Wow.
to in your
I'm
week?
going to drum roll here.
Oh my gosh.
I managed to see the Fantastic Four.
Oh my gosh,
Hurrah.
I can't believe this has happened. Jesus, was this week?
Well, I said
Week
Fantastic.
4. Fantastic
I should
4.
give it its
4 weeks
full-
later.
Yeah, 4 weeks later.
Oh my gosh.
I should give it its full title as well. Fantastic Four Meh Steps. Or First Meh. Because,
Well,
yeah,
I'm in disbelief.
I don't know
Who
how much...
are you?
I don't know how much of it
Jeeves
was
Weebies.
because I had this huge 4-week long build up to
Yeah,
finally
maybe
getting around
maybe
to
made
watch
the
it.
anticipation a bit high for you.
But I just don't feel I got much more than I saw in the trailers in terms of content.
Wow. Fair enough.
I love the setting, the retro. 60s.
Did you enjoy the retro
yeah,
at least?
Yeah. I love the retro. I should show you one day. I've got this lovely art book, which is different artwork through the probably beginning of the 19th century of what people imagined the future would look like.
Oh, I would like
And
that. I love a
it's
good
really-
visual.
Yeah, lots of bubble cars and people with portal, handheld helicopter suits or
Yeah, just
something.
really no idea what it's actually going to look like. Yeah.
No idea. Robots that feed you the food directly.
Okay.
All kinds of mad stuff like that. And yeah, I love the setting. I like the cast as well. I really enjoyed.
They're a good cast.
Yeah, they're a really good cast. But I don't think they had something around them. It felt like they were in a little bubble. There wasn't any interest. Name an interesting character apart, outside of the main cast.
Mole Man.
Mole Man. Yeah, but he's in like 2 scenes.
Silver Surfer.
Mm.
You didn't like the Silver Surfer?
No,
Bruh.
there was no real
this is
development.
shocking
They tried to
news.
shoehorn in Johnny Storm having a relationship with her out of them just
Shoehorn?
yes shoehorn.
No.
Oh,
they
he
had this-
listened to some weird alien language and
Yeah.
he falls in love with her.
Yeah, he's actually very smart. We didn't fall in love. I think they found common ground. I think they found rapport. I don't think they fell in love. I think you've read too hard into that.
I just didn't get that. I didn't feel that there was a connection enough there. She didn't actually say a lot, which is true to form with the Silver Surfer.
No, she felt like a very compelling Silver Surfer
okay.
for me.
Okay, well we're gonna have
Whoa.
to disagree there. Ooh.
I'm surprised.
So, other positives with the solid action, I felt like, it didn't outstay its welcome. Yes, I'm talking about you, Superman. You should have dialed it in like these guys. I felt
But
it was,
I found it had a right amount of action, but everything felt busy. Every scene felt a thing was happening, right?
with outside of the action. You mean?
Yeah,
Or
just
do you-
everything was just happening. I think they fitted a lot in that film, right?
Really?
Actually, I thought they did.
There was a lot. There was a lot of scenes where they were doing something in the background, kind of thing. You had that whole thing of introducing the X-Men,
The X-Men.
the Fantastic Four. That was them against some of their villains, more colourful villains. Mole Man was one of them. The monkey guy. The guy
They
that
set the
does
scene
all
really
this.
well.
There was some really good scene setting. But once that kind of ended, it was just like I just didn't feel anything.
I'm a gasp.
Yeah, you could be. I didn't. I also you could be that way. I didn't get a feel of. I liked the look of the world, but I didn't get a feel for that world. I didn't.
Oh, really?
I needed to see those people in that world living there. They were
Well, I
all
thought you did, especially with the Thing
the thing. Yeah,
and his love
teacher-
affair with the teacher.
possible teacher girlfriend. But that was 2 scenes in total.
That's all it needed. That's all it needed. Well, you
I
want
think-
more than that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you want a rom-com,
Oh,
mate?
he-
Can I recommend Bon
yeah.
Appetit, Your Majesty?
I think a bit more romantic, a bit more of a rom-com in there would have been really good. I think something where there didn't feel like any danger. You got Galacticus. Galacticus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Galaxis.
Galaxis?
Galactus?
Galax-
Galacticus.
Gal-
Oh, you know, I know
Galactus?
the
Oh, I
classic.
don't know.
We're so good. We're so informed.
He wasn't threatening. He was this
What?
giant
What do you
thing.
mean he wasn't threatening?
Okay, you compare him stomping through the city to Godzilla
No, I agree.
stomping through the city.
I think he felt more threatening in his ship. I felt him in his ship
Yes,
felt
I will
infinitely
agree
more
with you there.
threatening.
Yeah.
When he stopped being in his ship and he's just walking about, he did
Yeah.
just do a lot of walking about.
Yeah.
And especially when he was holding Mr. Fantastic and he was taking his sweet time,
Yeah, taking
he
his
could have
sweet
just...
He was too slow. Everything he did was slow. Yes, he's gigantic, but he's not a slow
I know what you
lumbering creature.
That's
he's
what people say is
threatening.
scary. Is big things that move fast.
Yes.
That's scary.
Yeah. Or that can get you quickly.
Yeah. Because
And-
they're always
and-
shown as lumbering things. When they start moving fast, things get very
Yeah.
scary.
And they'd taken away the jeopardy because the the city folk were taken down to the
I thought
mole
that's
man's
nice
thing.
because I think that
Yeah,
was one
but
thing I
then-
liked because the mole man wasn't just a bad guy. He had way more rapport than that, right?
Yeah.
He was like a bit of an ass, but he wanted something for his people. or
Yes,
whatever.
he was looking after his people.
He was
yeah.
more dynamic, and normally a side character. This is what I mean. Normally a side character would have such a 2D personality, but he had a bit more depth to him that I really appreciated.
I would have loved to have seen more of that.
Really,
We get
I
a
think we got just
scenario
enough.
where they see him in the background in a newsreel kind of he's fight that they have a fight with him. I would have loved some mid scene. I would have loved to have more of that stuff at the beginning, showing them battling them on a more regular scale. I just wanted more detail. I felt
Fair
like
enough. I
it was a
enjoyed
brushstroke of where they got up to,
Okay.
rather than seeing some of that nuance.
I just don't agree, which is quite
Okay,
remarkable.
well,
I enjoyed.
we could disagree.
You enjoyed the space-eating ship compared to the the planet-eating ship compared to the old
yes.
films, which had it as like more of a organic thing.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it being mechanical.
Yeah.
That was
and
really
I loved the
interesting.
fact that they had Galactus in it because the last one was just some cloud monster with I think a slight hint of his helmet shape or something.
Yeah.
That was good. There was some nice scenes in space. That was good.
Nice scenes in space. I
Yeah,
agree. Really good.
really nice stuff. But I just didn't. I was towards the end. I was trying to stay awake.
I think
And this was through the action stuff. Yeah.
To be fair, if I have any criticism, it's about the end bit. It's
Yeah.
about them fighting on the final battle.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I was like, this doesn't really make a lot of sense. They're kind of showing him some battle here. It was like fine.
Yeah.
I predicted the ending way in
Yeah.
advance. I was like, this is very predictable. But I mean, minor criticisms, honestly. I think the whole film as a whole was really good. I really enjoyed it.
But what about my original comment about it not being much more than trailer? What was in it? What was in the film that wasn't shown in the trailer in some
I
way?
think their fight with society is the needs of one greater than the many. You know,
Yeah,
they had
okay,
a really
the
crazy
baby
ultimatum.
versus-
They set up the ultimatum
Yeah.
very well in my mind. Normally that would have felt very convoluted, but everything about it felt not convoluted or not like a stretch. Because in the universe, this child is super powerful.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it kind of made sense, and I felt it was very compelling. And then they had to deal with that,
Yeah.
right? I thought that was good, personally.
Okay. Fine.
Well,
we're not
no,
going
this
to.
is-
Yeah,
this
we're
is
not going
I
to completely agree. Yeah. It's close as we come to an argument.
Have you
yeah.
seen? Oh, I'm gonna have to throw fists if you're not careful.
Did you watch the not outtakes, the end credit stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they do it.
Yeah. They've got to
Well,
try.
see, the
They've
thing
got
is,
to
I've
see.
also gotten really sick of those because sometimes I don't even follow up on them anymore.
Yeah, yeah, especially some weird stuff, and you think, oh, that could be interesting. Oh no, we're not going to go.
We're not
there
going to go
again.
there. So I've kind of just given up.
Or,
I like
or
watch
one
it.
of the actor playing that character isn't doing very well in
Yeah,
society
we
right
should-
now,
we shouldn't
and
be looking at that person
yes,
anymore, yeah.
he will no longer be in. I mean, that is an incredible thing, isn't it? For the actor Jonathan Majors playing the main bad guy for the next stage of a massive franchise.
Is he playing Kane or was it?
He was playing. He played Kane. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was in. He was
Khan?
in
Khan?
Kane.
Whatever, yeah,
I think
Kane.
Kane.
I know
Kane.
the one you mean. Yeah.
But to to be to behave so badly, to be such a horrible person that you end up changing the direction of an entire franchise. It's insane, isn't it?
It is crazy.
Not even just getting in another actor.
Who's vetting this stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's the first thought I've got is why can't you date? Why haven't they taken on another actor? They're quite happy. They've done some recasting over time. There was Don Cheadle was a replacement for somebody else from the Iron Man series.
Okay.
I can't remember the original
I think it's
actor.
just. I think
but
also they downscaled Marvel.
Yeah.
I think that we've seen the downscaling in Marvel, and they're like, we can't have another big bad.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work.
But then what they're doing with Doom. So.
Well, I don't mind. I think Robert Downey Jr. is pretty safe.
Yeah, pretty safe. Well, apart from never mind.
I think he's relatively safe. He did all the Iron Man films. Come on now.
Yeah,
he's probably safe.
It's gonna have to. Okay, so
what else have you? So meh.
So the other
on your
thing-
scaling, it's meh.
Meh. Yeah,
Meh.
seriously, I was.
Wow.
I imagine if I look back on it over time, I'll revisit it. I usually end up watching these films a second time at least when it comes to Disney.
But you might
Plus.
enjoy it as a Sunday afternoon film. More
Exactly.
Than
Maybe. Thing is, I don't want to say I liked it because there was so much. When I came out of the cinema, I felt disappointed.
Okay.
So, there isn't. I think if I was to have a sliding scale that was a bit far, it'd probably be pretty average. But I'm not doing that. It's meh.
Okay.
I don't hate it. I would sit and watch it with my kids one
Yeah,
Sunday.
it's
like
an easy show.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just could. I felt like it could have been more.
Very good. Well, that's your opinion, and that's fine.
Okay. Well, the other
Even if
homework I
it's
had was you gave me a YouTube video by Miscast.
Yep.
The title was "My Favorite Model I've Ever Made: The Nurgle Diaries, Episode 7," and then there's some
Just some extras.
yeah, some extras. What's that term? Social media things.
Hashtags.
No, not hashtags. He hasn't hashtagged them, but it's
Ads.
anyway. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Waffling on.
Mm.
So generally, I'm just jealous. That he's got a skill there. He's got a talent. When I was younger, I did have a little period of making 40k figures.
Mm-hmm.
I particularly went for Space Marines. I like that stuff, and some of the Orc stuff as well. But probably because of my skill level with painting, I was always more about building, designing what the character looked like and positioning the arms and the guns and customizing some different weapons or different poses. That was where I felt comfortable. And so when it came to the painting stuff, I was always about just getting it done.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a great painter.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't have the patience at the end of the day. There was no getting a spray can out and putting undercoat on and doing it properly. I thought I was a master of dry brushing. Most of my figures would be painted black with I think I made my own Blood Angel troops. They were black with metallic orange dry brushing over. That was my thing.
Okay.
I managed. There was a flamethrower, and I would put in the red, orange, yellow kind of detail on the end to make it look like
It's got that metallic burn or whatever.
yeah. But generally, I prefer building them than anything else. So seeing this guy, high level of skill there, not just taking a kit and building that. He's built his own design.
Yeah.
Well, his friend drew the design, which was fantastic, and then he's been inspired by it, which was interesting. With a house basically stood atop some weird gloopy creature.
Well, it's like the house with the shell, almost of the creature.
Of the creature, yeah.
Yeah.
And just the techniques he went through, just building up this house, really fluid. Really, he didn't have technical drawings out. He just had a feel for where the shape of the roof could be, where the windows would be. And
He's very ad hoc. Miscast is, I would describe
Yeah.
him, because I've watched a lot of his videos. I'm envious of his style. I think how he can. If you look at his videos, and he actually changed his YouTube channel, it's called New YouTube channel now. He's very ad hoc. He's very sporadic.
Yeah.
Very quick thinking. Got to do this. Got to try that. And he's very tactile. He likes to do it with his hands and make it happen. And I really envy that style because he can make quick things look very good. He can stylize it in his way and make it really good. I'm very jealous of that. But I think that was a good video to start because I'd say that's a bit more mainstream of his stuff.
Yeah.
Because other stuff gets a bit weirder.
I'm not a big fan of the Nurgle stuff. I'm not. I've seen that around in the past when I've passed a Warhammer shop and stuff in the window. And
I wouldn't say his Nurgle's the same as Warhammer Nurgle.
Oh, is it not?
He's more like a culty. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it's all kind of like symbolism or like weird wacky. It feels very like of the 80s miniatures and stuff.
Right, so he's taken influence from that earlier stuff. I did watch a couple of other videos, and one of them was he was talking a little bit about the earlier brighter colours of the Nurgles and stuff.
Yeah.
And really, and one of the other videos was him experimenting with a new painting style on some weird creature.
Yeah.
And part of me was like, I don't get why you like this. You know, the colours he was choosing, the design.
I think that's what I'm quite envious of. Is he can just do this, and he likes it, and it can.
I would say it was very unique in what he was doing.
I agree. That's why I kind of want to show you.
Yeah. And again, I love the fact that his kit bashing. He wasn't. He was impressed with the alien design, but it was the box. He found an old kit of an alien from the film War of the Worlds, and it's this 3-legged creature, and he takes the head. This guy takes the head off it, finds some other weird thing that he's got in a mixed batch of plastic bits, and just get them together, and it just bam! Suddenly you've got this really unique character with his house on top, and it's fantastic. And you know, his paintwork was brilliant. You know, lovely detailing, and totally jealous of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm glad. That's kind of what I want to show you. I think I'm also envious. He's made it a career out of it. It's his job. He has a studio. He does this. He's also released some other stuff. Like he released some RPG stuff, essentially, and some cards and some other things. I just think he's really good at what he does. I'm very impressed, and I'm quite envious. I think of how he,
definitely how he
also how he turns them into money. I think how he can make it not even a side hustle, like a career.
Yeah,
and it being so sporadic and like. When I think of a company, especially, I think it's my mind's quite rigid. I'm an engineer.
Yeah,
like, you got to go through all the steps of making a company. I think he's just making it happen. You know, he's not even thinking; he's just doing, and he's like selling that and selling this. And it's a good idea. We can sell this like this. And I'll go talk to these people. He's got a lot of connections.
Yeah,
I'll go talk to these people. Get this model cast.
Is it all within Warhammer, or is it he's doing unique pieces?
He does other games. It's all war gaming.
Yeah,
war gaming, and also.
But I meant, is there anything that he just does? You know, rather than being. It's not unfair to say tied to a franchise, but does he do things that are just his own ideas, his own creations, not linked to...
I think he's really against, and I totally agree that he's really against the Warhammer, like Games Workshop as an entity. He doesn't like Games Workshop where you just buy the kits. It's all about making your own models, how you want to paint it, how you want to present your army.
Yeah.
If you're doing Warhammer, if he does a few other games. He makes boards for other people, and he's made his own TTRPG. So he's in that tabletop world. Yeah. But he's not linked to Warhammer or to whoever. Yeah. It's very free, and I like that. I think Warhammer is like a general statement. We need to get away from Warhammer dictating things, and it's the community deciding things. Yeah. Because at the moment it feels like and I'm not saying like stop Warhammer. It's let's move away from Warhammer. Yeah, let's try.
I know what you're trying. Yeah, what's happened is that it's probably built up more naturally to begin with. You know, this is just a couple of guys that are really passionate about tabletop gaming, and they've created a universe, and it's just become a beast. As it's grown, it's become a unwieldy beast.
But I think also what's happened is no, I agree, it's become a beast, and it's become competitive. So things have to have very specific rules, and things have to have points, and things have to be balanced. And all this stuff. I think that detracts from the real game, which is, when I think of wargaming, it's more like a narrative. It's more like you're telling a story in a war, you know? Maybe your favourite character dies, or maybe this character, against all odds, kills that whole unit. Blah, 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 blah. That's what it's about for me. So even if it's unfair or not, it doesn't matter who wins or loses. It's about the story you tell on the field. I'm not about that. You know, I'm not about that match points. I'm not about scoring objectives. Like in terms of winning points and winning games. That's not me. And I think he embodies that really well.
But that's what one thing I felt with my reintroduction to Warhammer is it feels like it's trying to sell itself as something that is accessible on different levels. You can be just about producing models and getting involved in the world in that way, or you can be about just reading the books because you like the world building that's there. Or you can be a gamer, and there's levels within that. You know, you can be a.
But is that not just for the money though? I understand.
What to be a competitive?
Well, no, just so like they've seen they can make video games.
Yeah.
And they make video games, and they make really good video games, but they license it out to people. You know, they make novels because people buy the novels. And they've got a very competitive. And they start their entry level stuff so people can buy in, and I think it's probably twofold. They probably do it because they want people to join the community.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the company runs in a very much, we need to make money. You can see it, they create point levels, so you have to have bigger armies, you have to pay more for your armies.
I mean, I've had a little bit of a look now at the kind of, I had a look at Warhammer website to see what the value of these items were to buy. And it starts off with like an introductory set for £20 with 3 figures and a selection of paints. Okay, fair enough. Oh, what's the next thing up from that? Oh, it's £100.
Yeah, no, there's like £500 easy.
There's no gentle way up. It's just suddenly you're just hit. And that's no paints. That's just a small army.
A small army.
Yeah,
no,
and you've got to then go and buy all the paints to match it. No, I see what you're saying about this idea of it. How you make a community out of it. How you give. Do you have sharing parties where you're all sharing the same paints.
So you're not like 3D printing. This guy's got just a box of bits and he builds a model, and that model if you go to official Warhammer tournaments, you need Warhammer plastic. They say that, and 3 different paints and a different base. You need that on all your models to play competitively. But what if I want to bring my weird, crazy model that's like not an official Warhammer model? It
still has the same rules applying to it as the official version, but you've done.
So if it's not made of their plastic, you're not allowed to bring it to their tournaments.
So how far does that extend though? So if you've bought one of their large Titans and then you've modded it,
I think there's a bit of leeway.
There's a little leeway,
but if you
would just scratch build a Titan,
they'd be like absolutely, nope. 100%. Or even just little models, if you just anything. So I really disagree with that philosophy.
That does seem a bit.
He represents really well the kind of ad hoc, do it yourself, make it weird, make it how you want. But everyone in the community enjoys.
Because at the end of the day, you could play the game with cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, absolutely could.
Because or blank things that just have the stats on it. It's a representation of what you're playing. Not the game itself.
Yeah.
So for them to gatekeep,
it is gatekeeping. Yeah. It's kind of Appleizing.
Yeah.
Because, Apple
you got to have the same
ecosystem, right? They're trying to build that. You have to be logged into our ecosystem to make it work. That's kind of wanted to present it to you. I thought he was also just really good. I like how he tells a story. Yeah. His written narratives are really good. I just thought I'd show you that.
No, I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad.
Again, that jealousy. I mean, it made me think. I do want to do something artistic.
I was thinking we'll talk about this another time. But I think we should sit down and we should scratch build some spaceships like they did in the original sci-fi films.
Yes,
I think that'd be a really good thing to do.
One of the things I ended up watching some videos on how to paint Warhammer figures, just because since I've started these conversations with you, strangely enough, I'm getting a lot of Warhammer in my YouTube feeds.
No.
But there's a lot of techniques there that I watched these videos and I thought I could do that. I could paint like that because I've seen a few techniques and I go, okay, but I've got to have an output. I've got to have a way of doing that. I don't have a lot of, you
don't have much time and money. No. I assume kids. So I understand that. I think Warhammer is a really bad option for that.
Yeah, I mean, even like I think because I've been talking about it with you, it's come up a couple of times with my children who. The boys particularly have shown interest in Warhammer at different points, and I've always gone to them. It's an expensive hobby, and I think they've got that in their head now. So
it is. Yeah, I got to be honest. Yeah, cool.
Okay,
is that everything?
One thing I wanted to say is that thanks to you, we managed to go back into the Diplomat. We were on. We've been watching. My wife and I have been watching season 2.
Nice,
and we're a little bit lost. It couldn't have been that long ago we watched season 1, but we watched the recap. We thought, okay, we'll give it a go, and we're into season 2 now. And we're about 2 episodes in, and we're still there going, "Who was she again?"
Oh, really?
What was? Yeah,
I thought it was all pretty straightforward. I think.
What did Kigo? We're in now. We're in.
Good. I'm glad you're
into.
Nice. So I guess now we're on to the week's love letter, the essay, if you will.
Yes.
Do you want to introduce what you want to talk about this week, Mark?
I'm going to talk about post-rock. It's a genre of music using the typical instruments of rock. 2 guitars, a bass, and a drum set, but emphasizing atmosphere and non-traditional structures. Okay, so for example, when vocals are used, they tend to be more background or more instrumentally used than for the lyrics themselves. The lyrics aren't as important in a lot of post-rock songs. The phrase post-rock itself was coined by music journalist Simon Reynolds in 1994 when he was describing the music of Talk Talk and Bach Psychosis. He expanded the term and he described it as using rock instrumentation for non-rock purposes. Now, what that means for me as a fan is music that is primarily instrumental. For me, it feels both floaty and hard. It's a musical journey in most post-rock songs. There's distance in it. A lot of them are long, admittedly. Tracks usually lasting somewhere between 7 and 20 minutes in a lot of cases. And for me, I always feel like I'm being taken on a journey with these tracks. There's usually a lot of distortion in some of the tracks. There's kind of music that makes it feel otherworldly, ethereal, and takes me away from day to day. And because they haven't got proper lyrics in the traditional sense, I don't feel distracted by the story that the musician is trying to tell, or the message that the musician is trying to say in song form. So my first introduction to post-rock was the album Young Team by Mogwai. And I spoke about this, was it last week? No,
a couple weeks before, on our music episode.
Yeah,
yes.
music episode. And that was the track I spoke about there was Mogwai Fear Satan. A couple of other tracks from that really give me a good feel. One of them is, I spoke briefly about it, it's called Tracy, and it has the standard kind of sad kind of sound to it that you can find in a lot of post-rock. And it's overlaid with a recording of the band members, and it's a genuine conversation between a couple of band members, and they're talking about a falling out by two other members of the band that have, one of them's punched one of the others and stormed out of the building, and they're wondering what they've got to do. They've got a gig coming up, and they're just trying to talk about it, and it's such a somber piece, and it makes you, what's being, the spoken word that's going over it makes you disconnect almost to the music for a little bit while it's being said, and then you're brought back into it, and it's an unusual piece, and I really like it. Another one of my favourite tracks on, apart from Mogwai Fear Satan, is Summer. It's got beautiful and moody guitars. It's a really strange mix. It flows with later on through it. There's glockenspiels being used. Lovely glockenspiel melody. The only time I think of glockenspiels usually is music lessons with at school, where that was the only instrument I was allowed to touch because I wasn't very good at it. But it's got a weird mix of being floaty and angry at the same time. And I really like that. Now, I don't know if you had a chance to listen to any of those two that I spoke about.
I didn't. I don't know specific.
Okay.
I only wrote down one specific thing. But I mean,
okay.
do keep going.
Okay, cool. Okay, another band to speak about. They're a really early post-rock band. It's called Slint. Their album Spiderland is like an early kind of first people to be one of the first groups to be trying around with the kind of post-rock themes. There's a particular track that I've put on the I've linked all the tracks I speak about.
I'll link it in the description. It'll be in the
description to a playlist. It's Breadcrumb Trail. Now again, it's another weird one where it's got a spoken or in some parts screamed word love story, and it's about a boy meeting a fortune teller. It's quite surreal. But again, it's got scratching guitars, repetitive strumming. There's some really deep drums in there, but it's still got quiet spaces in it, reflective moments where you're allowed to lose yourself a little bit in the tracks. Definitely worth having a look out for. From my perspective, it's something that I can see the kind of through path from Slint to Mogwai. There's a lot of parallels, but they've both done something different with it.
You got lots of notes.
Yeah, got lots of notes.
Pages.
Now I'm going to go. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying you got lots of notes. I enjoyed the notes.
Yeah. I was going to go back. I'm going to go back to Mogwai because they are probably one of my favourite bands, and I do. You know that they're obviously the first band I think of when I think of prog rock.
No, they did in the playlist. They do kind of feature heavily.
Yes.
I noticed.
Yes, I felt like I almost should have. I suppose that what I could have done is post rock a Mogwai story and kept it to that, but I fought away from that idea. But I do want to talk about a couple more tracks. They're from Mogwai's Mr. Beast album, 2006. It's one of my favourite Mogwai albums, and there's a couple of tracks on there. One of them I absolutely, it's one of my favourite tracks as well. It's called Auto Rock. It's the opening track to the album. When I bought this album, I was just about to go on holiday before I bought it. It came out just before this holiday, and I took it with me.
That was on CD.
That was on CD. Yeah,
okay,
I took it with me on this holiday. It was to Newquay. I was staying with my parents-in-law and my wife, and it was just like a joint holiday.
Yeah.
And it was a wet Easter in Newquay in Cornwall, and I got my CD player on my side. I put the album in, and I went for a walk. And I was walking down quite damp beach, Thistral Beach, if anybody knows it, and this track opens up, and I just knew that I was going to love this whole album. It was just so swelling. The track itself is this slow beating rise of noise. It's got a simple, beautiful piano being played, and as the track goes along, it gets drowned out by the jangly guitars and more piano. I don't know if it's the same piano, but
overlaying piano.
Overlaying piano with a heavier, like it's being played by a troll or something, and just rises up. And then there's this constant thumping drum beat that just escalates and gets louder as the track ends. I just, every time I hear it, I just stop and listen. It's not one I can ignore. I just love it.
Yeah.
Another track from that album is We're No Here. It's got such a feeling of need and urgency at the beginning, and when the heavy guitars that turn up, I think it's about 2 minutes 50 in, and it takes off. It's almost like this urgency and need that's suddenly been released, and then it lands again about 4 minutes in, and there's another jangle of reverbing guitars and I'm gonna.
That's fine.
There's gonna be a lot of that, I'm afraid.
No, I've noticed how much you've been gesticulating during your explanation.
Yes.
It's been remarkable. You've been throwing your hands around.
I'm trying to show my passion for this on a non-visual format. I apologise.
It's very clear, I think, both vocally and visually, how passionate you are about this.
And it's something for me. It feels really personal. It feels like I said before, I get lost in these songs. I get lost into listening to it and being taken on this journey, and again, listening to Mr. Beast earlier today, it just took me back to that same beach walk and the greyness of everything, and still being lifted because of the music there.
Okay.
Okay. Now, one last Mogwai track. Now, I wanted to include this because, Drew, your criticism of Mogwai Fear Satan was that it was very long at 16 minutes.
It's very long at 16 minutes.
This track is 20 minutes long.
It's
an absolute opus. When they wrote this one, they were taking inspiration for the melody from a Jewish prayer, which you think how does that fit in with it? But it is a very popular track with Mogwai fans. They tend to play it a lot as a closing track on live gigs. It just makes everybody, swell. I think. I mean, it starts off quietly.
What is the name of the track first?
Oh, sorry, did I not say the name of the track? I do apologise. My Father the King. Wow.
I had one note.
Oh, the one.
I had one note, and it was about a song called "My Father, My King." Mm-hmm. So, I'll tell you that. I'll get to my
let me get my. Yeah. So it starts quietly, really quietly, with just some guitars. Builds up to about 4 minutes in when the distorted guitars join in, and they have a field day. It quietens down again, gradually quietens down again, till it's back to being just a single guitar playing the melodies. Really peaceful, really calm. And then at 6 minutes 18, drums and more guitars join in. And they slowly drown out the original guitar that's playing there. And then at that point, mad-ass bass and guitar hit the fan. And for me, it is just glorious sound. It's just a wall of sound washing over my head. It's a massive noise, and it swirls around my head as I'm listening to it. And, you know, the track itself had a description by Mogwai themselves, which was 2 parts serenity and 1 part death metal, which I think encompasses the song perfectly.
No, yes. My note really is that it was interesting because it was the one song that actually caught my attention, genuine from all of them. I listened to them all, but it was the one that I like had to look at my phone and be like, "What's going on?" I think towards the end, it was like, "Oh my goodness, what's going on?" I put like, "This is just noise," but not in like a bad way. This is just noise. I was like, "This is just not like overwhelmingly noise."
There's parts of it where you lose
where it's coming from, or like what's the rhythm. Yeah. No, absolutely. And it was interesting. A lot of these songs normally ended with, I don't even call them songs, but we'll get to that when I get to my kind of opinions. But a lot of them either ended in a very calm, very quiet descent, or they ended in this kind of like flurry of just everything at once.
Every guitar being
every single thing ended either
stretched and distorted until it's almost that kind of. It's horrible, almost. It's I
would say it was horrible. Like I put just noise, but I don't mean that in a really bad way.
No.
It's just the kind of that's what they're going for.
Yeah, sometimes there are certain tracks, not just with Mogwai but other bands, where the distortion of the guitars at some points become a little bit too much. It's almost like white noise with a.
It's interesting. The Dune soundtrack. There's one from the Dune soundtrack, and I think it's about the soundworms.
Yeah,
and they intentionally distort some drums. And it makes it sound even bigger because it's like, oh my gosh, that mic can't even pick this up. But they do it in a way that sounds still very rhythmic, but you can hear the distortion, you can hear it clipping at the top. And I was like, oh my, it's making it feel crazy because it's noise, but it tells a story of how big it is, right? And I felt that kind of, that...
You felt the bigness. It is huge. That ending is probably their biggest ending, I think. It just...
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it was interesting. So as an outsider... do you have any more to talk about?
Oh yeah. I can bore you for I can talk about this. I'll just get through a couple of more bands that I've talked about.
My kind of thoughts on it.
Now we would death metalness of that last track. Yeah. There is a band called Russian Circles. They're from Chicago, and their take on it is more post metal.
Okay.
So the music they they use a different set of tools basically to achieve a slightly different take on post metal, post rock, should I say? It's more visceral. I think you've got that proper metal sound to a lot of their tracks. If you're interested in something like that, I recommend Conduit and Youngblood. They're absolute blinders. That if you're a metal fan, they are good for that side of things as well. But there's a couple of other tracks I'd recommend as well, which is Memorial and Ethel, and they show a kind of more ethereal, thank you, side to them. A little bit more like some of the other stuff that Mogwai do, a bit more of the quieter, calmer tracks that come out, and really good stuff. Another band to point out would be Sigur Rós. I don't know if you've come across them before. No. They had a bit more of a populist. I think there's a lot of their tracks get used in advertising, movies, and things like that. If you hear one of their songs, you probably recognise it from the kind of sound.
There's a few bands I know as well that like you probably don't know who they are, but if I played you a song, yeah,
definitely. They're Icelandic, and some of the tracks they play, they sing Icelandic.
Yeah.
So you don't know the words. It's just sound.
It's just feeling.
It's really floaty stuff.
Okay.
I think the best way of putting them is like a musical version of the Northern Lights. I'm not going to say Aurora
Borealis.
It's the music can be so beautiful but unattainable. It's there, but you can't join with it. it's really nice stuff there. A couple of tracks to pay attention to. Untitled number 3, Samskiti, and
Very easy names.
I can't speak.
If they're in the playlist, people can find
Yeah,
them.
but and Sven Engler. It's all Icelandic to me.
As it should be, as it's probably
Yeah.
Icelandic.
So yeah, like I said, I think if you heard them, you probably recognise them from something else. The last band I'm going to speak about is Tides from Nebula, which is something I discovered today in my research. I've been listening to a few other things that I'm interested in, and I came across these guys, and they are from Poland, and they have a more upbeat kind of way of doing it. There's a lot more electronica in it, but it's still the same. You know it's going to be kind of certain beats to it. There's kind of flow to it. There's a journey. There's changes in tempo and feel for the whole thing. 2 tracks I would suggest trying is Dopamine, and another one, The Tragedy of Joseph Merrick, which I think is the Elephant Man.
Oh, okay.
I think that's, anyway, regardless of that. And there's a guitar bit in that is absolutely awesome. They've described their music as catching the sound of the universe. And I think
these are all very etheric ideas that people are really trying to get a concept across here, which I find very interesting.
Yeah.
Actually.
No, I get lost in these songs a lot of the time. Really, completely out of my mind.
No, I can see that. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay. So that's
those are what your recommendations. That's your letter.
Yeah, that's my recommendations. So yeah, that I put a couple of other tracks on there that are, I could probably fill a playlist with different tracks, but yeah, I put a couple of those on there. Hopefully, you guys, if you are interested, have a listen.
No, it's really interesting. So I listened to what you'd sent out earlier today.
Yeah, I made a couple of changes. Kept changing my mind on what I wanted to talk about.
It was good. It was interesting. So I listened to it today at work, and I think what you've said is absolutely nail on the head how I felt about it. I think I stopped very early on. I stopped looking at I stopped looking at it as songs and more like kind of scores for a movie that didn't exist. And I think that changed my perspective on how I viewed the music. Like I said, there's no vocals really, or if there's vocals, it's instrumental vocals, and they didn't have that kind of classic chorus, verse. None of that. It all out the window. It was definitely, here's a whole progression, a story told without any words. I did find, as you said, it was very kind of melodramatic.
Yeah.
With punches of that kind of excitement knocked in there. I did find it interesting. There was a lot I found very interesting about it. I found I could focus a lot better with it on, very oddly. It was really good stuff. It's stuff I wouldn't...
I've got a playlist at work with not fully post-rock, but a lot of post-rock in there, which, when I'm having to focus work on a computer, I put that on. And for some reason, it gives me
sometimes
enough to focus on.
It's taking you away from where you are, which is why you put in music, is to take yourself away. But you don't have to focus on what's being said or listen or kind of think about it.
Yeah.
And I definitely felt that as well. I definitely felt, like you were talking about on a rainy beach, I had this idea in my mind of a purple lit stage, like a dimly purple lit spotlight kind of vibe when I was listening to music, which is kind of that somber kind of feel, which I'm glad we kind of agree on that. It was also, I agree with you, it was very experimental. Things felt very experimental, but not like some things experimental is like, this is unlistenable. It's like, it's meant to challenge you.
70s prog rock is it is very much like that, where it takes it too far.
It's not listenable. It's not. It's meant to challenge you in this way that I don't really understand. But this didn't do that. This was very much within a limits that I could handle in a casual setting. It was really good. I think in my mind, to bring it to my world, it reminded me of 2 things. So it reminded me of a lot of Alt J songs. Do you know Alt J? They did Breeze Blocks.
I know of them, but
a lot of their stuff, especially their early stuff, it reminded me a lot of that kind of thing. They have a lot of things that they do have lyrics, but some stuff, the lyrics almost don't even make sense sometimes, and there's a lot of they're trying out things, but it's all pretty alt pop vibe still, so it fits in my world. Another one it reminded me of. I couldn't tell you why, because it's more like a poem with a piano, and I think it's just called Alexander by Orange Rex County, and it's just about a guy seeing a doctor about his back pain. But I think what you're talking about, how it's a piano playing through, and it's kind of got the same tone, and it kind of lifts and dies as this kind of poem is being said. And it gave me a lot of that feeling. It felt like there were similarities. Not, it's not exactly the same, but there was a similarity that I could really appreciate. So I think it was really good thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Yeah.
It's not something I would personally listen to.
You don't think there's anything you'd go back to?
No, there's stuff I would go back to.
Yeah.
But like I wouldn't, it's not stuff that would come up on my algorithm. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would never have seen this.
I mean, the thing is that, one thing, a very small snapshot of your musical interest with Good Kid, there is certainly positive vibes to that. It's upbeat. It's something.
I definitely hit.
It's almost like a mirror image of.
You're hitting a very somber tone.
Yeah.
I'm not normally for the somber stuff, but like it's not all somber. That's interesting. I do enjoy it, especially because I like a musical score. There's ups and downs, and I think that's like I said. I don't think of these as songs. I think of them more as scores.
Yeah, which
is
is interesting because Mogwai have done a lot of music scores now. I
can absolutely see that.
A world that they've entered.
It's very clear, and it feels almost like not even like a natural progression, but a thing they were doing anyway, just in a non-traditional orchestra, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was really interesting. But yeah, no, I'm sure I'll listen to a few more of their songs. I'll listen to some of the stuff that you've added since.
Yes, sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. I do want to keep going with it. Like I said, very interesting. So thank you very much for bringing that to my attention.
Glad you were able to appreciate it.
Thank you for writing so much. You've written like loads of notes, really informative stuff. I enjoy someone. Me and producer Tom were talking about. We like hearing. It's always fun to listen to someone talk about something passionately.
Yes,
and I think hearing you very. Well,
it was an interesting experience. It's the first time I've ever tried to write about music. I've never, trying to translate how I'm feeling and the sounds that I'm hearing, and trying to get that. There was, a very nice experience to do something like that.
I think I'm very similar. I'm not naturally a writer.
Yeah.
So like, especially when I talked about Good Kid earlier, I was thinking in my head, I'm just saying, oh, it was good. Oh, it was great. Yeah. That's not a way to express how I was actually feeling. So I think this is, it's good this is a really good way of training, teaching, like figuring out how to express myself perhaps a bit better as well. So it's good. Yeah. It's very good though to hear a really thorough, actually, really thorough. Thank you very much.
Introduction to the world of
introduction.
post-rock.
Thank you very much. Should we talk about what we're gonna this week ahead?
Yes. Ooh.
So I know what I want from you. So next week I know what I want to talk about.
Okay.
I've thought about what I want to talk about, and my homework for you. It's a very simple homework, and I've kind of tainted you already a little bit, but I would like you to create a D&D character. And that is all I'm going to say. As if you were, imagine yourself to have, stumbled across a thread about D&D and gone, I would like to play D&D, and I want to make a character. So I just want you to go out on the lines and build a character.
So no, you're not going to give me a book. You're not like with the one session of D&D I ever did.
With me, yes.
Yeah, or sessions.
We did 2 sessions, I think, before people started dropping out.
Yes.
Or it became hard to manage. But yes, that's my...
Okay.
That'd be really interesting to see how that comes out.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting challenge.
Do you have anything for me this week, homework, or have you not decided yet?
I haven't decided yet, but I think I should give myself a few seconds to
think about it.
Think about it.
I personally, I don't want to put words in your mouth. It'd be nice.
Eminence?
I enjoy your movies. I enjoy the movies you send me. I enjoy old movies. I know I've criticised you sending me films and I've complained they're too slow or like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
But I would like to... I'm enjoying the process. Yeah. I think I'm learning a lot.
What I've been wanting to do, and that's why I haven't got to the decision yet, is choosing a film that I hope you'll actually enjoy this time, rather than feel like you're just having a lesson in film history.
There's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy it.
No, absolutely. But it would be nice for you to come back buzzing from something.
Okay.
And
maybe you don't have to say it now.
Yeah.
You can always set it after the time. But that's what you're going to set me is a film you think I will like.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fantastic. Well, I've really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, it's been
very
a lot
much
of fun.
Mark. It has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed your gesticulation about Mogwai and all of post-rock.
Somehow must find a way of
Well, maybe we'll have
verbalising these
I
gesticulations.
think you verbalised it very well as well. Anyway, thank you very much, and goodbye, Mark.
Toodle pip, Drew.